Hi everyone, my name is Laura Milligan and I am here from Canton, Ohio in my studio that I call the B Spot, joining you today for a Facebook Live. I normally go live every Monday at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. This week, because we are launching our new catalog, I thought it would be fun to go live every day. So I have different cards from different suites of products, that I'm going to share with you all week. So you'll get to see five different suites or stamp sets, products this week. And I know that I am very excited for tomorrow when the catalog goes live. I have a big order that I'm going to be putting in, and I know that many of you do as well. So that is always very exciting. I do want to mention, though, today is the last day. If there's anything retiring or on what we call our last chance list from our current annual catalog, today is the last day to get those. And there are still many of good products available. Some of them are discounted up to like 40 or 50%. So there are some really, really good deals. So don't miss out on those. And I do have a host code. If you spend $50 through today, you will get a surprise embellishment from me as a thank you, from the new surprise embellishment from the new catalog. So if you are there, give me a shout out. Let me see who's signing on, and then I'm gonna get started stamping. When I flip my phone down, you'll be able to see the host code that you need to use through today, and then I'll have a new one starting tomorrow. Can you believe it's May already? I don't know what happened to March and April, but they sure flew by. So it is May, which means our brand new catalog. Okay, so there's Anne Marie, Tanae, Juanita. Hi ladies, good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. So I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera down. And this is the card that I made last week. This features the Tea Boutique Suite or Cup of Tea. And I just made one card with this cute stack of teacups here. And then on the inside was this little pocket. I used the scallop contour dies and cut this out of designer paper, and then just created a little pocket to insert a tea bag. And so I drew someone's name, and the winner of this card is Nancy Vross. So Nancy, I have your address. I will be sending this in the mail for you, so I hope that you enjoy it. And you can either brew this tea for yourself and enjoy a cup of tea, or of course you can pass this card on to someone else because it will come unsigned, so you can reuse it. All right, so today, yes, Cheryl, I did get your order. Thank you. I just haven't gotten back to everybody yet, but I did get your order, so thank you. So today, I cannot show you the inside of our catalog till tomorrow when it goes live. We can only show the cover, and so that worked out okay because the suite of products I'm featuring today is called the Hues of Happiness Suite. And this card is actually from that suite, and gorgeous paper, beautiful floral images, some really good words in this. And so let me just show you what I can't show you the inside of the catalog, but I can show you the stamp set and the dies. And this die in particular, I am going to be using today. I want to point that out because I had some questions about this as people received their catalogs. And I also wanted to show you the gorgeous designer paper. And of course, that's one of Stampin' Up's specialties. We have the best designer paper. And this is a 12 by 12 pack. Look at these gorgeous, gorgeous floral images. And then this piece, you can tell, obviously this one is one of my favorites because I don't even have a full sheet of it left. I just have little bits and pieces of that one. And then this one too. Look at these colors. I'm actually going to be using these today. So I'm going to leave this piece out for a second to show you something. But let me flip these over. So normally we call it like the A side and the B side. I used to just call it the front and the back, but when I got to go on the $1 Million Sales Retreat, what the artisans told us was, or the concept artists told us that they often refer to them as the A side and the B side. So this is the B side. So it's just softer patterns. Look how pretty that one is. Little dots and different things like that. Here's another really pretty. Look at that. Look at the colors in that. So that's the B side, and then you can see this is the A side. It's the more bold images. So I'm going to set this aside, and I don't know if I told you, this is called the Hues of Happiness Designer Series paper. So of course my favorite thing, and I can't show you this, but in our catalog, they will have a collection, like it will say the Hues of Happiness collection. You can write down one number and get all the products from this particular suite. It's the best way to order because then you have everything that coordinates. And that, like I said, is one of Stampin' Up's specialties. So I want to show you with the designer paper. So of course we have stamps in these floral images which coordinate with the die cuts. I'm going to pull these out. So I want to point out a couple things to you. So you can see how, like, here's a large floral image that'll coordinate with this stamp and so on. But this is also one of those sets where the dies coordinate with the designer paper, which I love that. And so you can see, of course you have to get it lined up. So you can see how this will cut that image perfectly. And let's see, this one, did I pull the right? Yeah, so, and then this one is going to cut these perfectly. So you can cut, and these pages, you can see how I've used a lot of the paper from this particular 12 by 12 sheet, but this particular paper is full of these floral images, so you can cut so many out of the papers, and you get 2 of each pattern. So you have double the florals on this paper, double amount, 2 pages of the flowers that you can cut directly from the paper. And then there's also a die that will cut the greens, the leaves, so you can do that as well. Makes it really easy. And I think all of us, we're so busy anymore, and anytime we can cut some corners to speed up our stamping a little bit, and this isn't really cutting corners, but saving us some time. I think it's a good way to make use of our time. The other dies I wanted to show you in this set. This one is really neat. It is it creates more like a background. It doesn't actually like cut out a shape, and I will show you that because I'm using that today. And then this, just some stitching shape, and then this die is actually, it looks like you would tear something out of a spiral notebook. And I'm going to bring the front of the catalog in again, and you can see on there on that one side it looks like a spiral notebook, like it came right out of that, and I think that is so cool. I love that. All right, so let me show you the card I'm going to make for you today. And if you are just joining in, be sure to tune in every day this week at 1 o'clock because I have 5 different cards, to share with you every day this week. So I'm going to be doing a lot of stamping. Yes, Colleen, thank you for saying hi to Charlie. I just saw the mailman walk by and I was hoping he didn't see, but anyway. Okay, so I want to show you, this is the card that I'm going to make today. Look how gorgeous, and look at the beautiful, beautiful color. These were cut directly from this paper. So I used, you can see the blue, and then these purple I've actually used, well wait, here's some you can see. So this came out of this same sheet, so I did 2 of the purple and then 1 of the dark blue. So I've already cut those. I'm assuming that you all know how to use a die cutting machine. If you don't, please let me know. Leave a comment, and next time when I go live, I can actually show you how to do the die cutting. But these were cut directly from the designer series paper. And I should say too that this card will be posted on my blog, which is lauramilligan.com. You can go there and see this card tomorrow and you can watch the replay. I will include the supplies listed and that sort of thing to make it easier for you if you would like to purchase these. And then I did this, and this piece, let me see if I can hold that up so you can see it a little bit better. Look at the detail in that, and that was done with this die. So I put it on my panel and ran it through one time, and then I put it through and ran it through again. So this is actually 2 of these, but I love the look that it creates, and I did not take the time to pop all of these little extra pieces out. You could if you wanted to. You could do, I'll do a few here, but I just kind of liked the look of some of them still being in there. It depends on what you like. Not everybody likes that. A lot of people want to just poke, every little thing out, but that's up to you. But isn't this cute? I'm just going to keep poking here for a minute. You could also use like the tip of your paper snips to get some of these out. But you can see, look at the detail. Isn't that cute? All right, so let me spread these out of the way here. Get these out of the way here. And let me show you how I put this card together. So I started with a basic white, thick basic white, which is my favorite card base to use. I like the clean look of white. And then I actually took a piece of the designer paper. This is what they call the B side. Here's the other side, and there you have the flowers that I'm using. So I'm going to go ahead and just attach this, and I cut this. It's basically 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which is the size of a standard card front. I cut it just a smidge smaller, like maybe 1/8 of an inch smaller, so that just a little bit of the white would show. Yeah, this die cut, it kind of almost reminds me of like a doily, or you're right, Anne Marie, some kind of lace. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just add a little glue. And this is hard. I hate to cover up these beautiful flowers because, like I said, I can cut these right out of this paper with my dies. But don't forget, you get 2 of each of these patterns. And this is so pretty too. So I'm going to just center this. It is pretty much going to cover the whole card front with just a titch of white, just a smidgen of white showing, I guess I should say. Okay, then I'm going to take this piece, and look how pretty. Now you can see it. Now that it's on this darker, I think you can see better the detail. I'm going to just adhere this flat. I didn't pop this part up. I'm going to pop my flowers up, but I wanted to keep this part flat. So I'm just going to put a little glue here and there, looking really for the more solid images. And I will say, as far as like popping things out, I used to think, like I think many of us are, oh my gosh, I have to pop every little spare piece, every little fragment out. I got to get all of those out. But then as I watched things that the artisans created, I noticed that they didn't do that. And I thought, it's more of an organic look, I guess. It doesn't have to be all popped out. And I kind of liked the look of some of them popped out and some not. So that, of course, is a personal choice. But what do you all think? Just curious what you think. Do you like to pop them all out? Are you okay with not popping them all out? I guess everybody's different, but okay. Now I'm going to take these 3 flowers and I'm going to pop all of them up. And what I decided, I wasn't sure the best way to do this, but what I decided was I'm going to just glue these together with just a touch of glue, like where they're going to overlap. Let's see, actually I had this way. I'm going to put that right there like that, cover up my glue. I'm going to put these together, and then this one is just going to be right down here like this. And I know that I'm going to be putting my word panel across here, so it's okay that there's that little space there. Yeah, so some people are saying, okay with not popping it all out. Hi, Don Kathleen. Colleen also says she likes some that are not popped out. Yeah, I think everybody it's sort of artistic, I guess, right? We all want to be artists. All right, so then this, I'm just going to attach here like this. And like I said, there is a little bit of space there, but that doesn't bother me because I'm going to cover that up. So now I'm going to flip this over and just add some dimensionals. And I made sure today, you know how I never have my large dimensionals when I'm doing these lives. I always end up using like the edges, but I made sure today that I pulled out a brand new pack. So I have lots of dimensionals today, a full brand new sheet, which is pretty exciting for me. Colors of purple on this card. You know what? I'm going to just flip over the designer paper because it will, on the back it lists. It says Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Fresh Freesia, which would be this lighter color, and then Gorgeous Grape. So that would be the deeper color. And I actually selected Night of Navy for my words. So that would be, let me make sure I got all these off of this. So I would say, Cindy, Fresh Freesia and Gorgeous Grape. All right, and I'm just going to put this here centered like that. Then I have a couple leaf images, and I'm just going to tack these underneath my flowers. I didn't pop these up, I just left them flat. And I'll put that right there. And I'm going to have that go beyond the white. I sort of liked how that looked. And then down here, I'll just add those right there. Sorry, I need to move this up a little bit. There we go. The colors in this paper, though, are just gorgeous, every single one of them. Okay, I'll put that about right there. Okay, now I'm going to do some stamping. I have this little piece. This is like 5/8 by 3 3/4, and I'm going to stamp some words. There are a lot of good words. I love this. You are wonderful in every way. Sending many thanks for all you do. Wishing you all the happiness you can imagine. Friend, I always love that. Happy birthday, best wishes. I don't think we can ever have enough happy birthday greetings. Okay, so I just chose for this one, happy birthday. And I should say, I don't know if my sister's watching, but tomorrow is her birthday. So happy birthday, Sarah. Wish I could spend it with you, but I'll be thinking about you. And I did get a card in the mail to my sister, because that's what we do, right? Send cards. Okay, I am using Night of Navy ink. Some of you know my sister, so if you do, help me wish her a happy birthday. Okay, I'm going to do my happy birthday on this little panel, Night of Navy ink. And I'm just going to go ahead and angle these. You know how I like to do this because I do like the flagged ends, but I always like this look too, and it's easier and quicker, which I like. Okay, I'll get those scraps out of the way. That's the only stamping I did on this. And then I am going to use a little bit of ribbon. This is a new ribbon. This is one of our new in colors. This is Parakeet Party, and it is not an exact match to the green in the leaves or this paper, but I thought actually it looked pretty good. It's not mentioned when they list the colors, but I thought it looked pretty good. And I will say this ribbon, it's like 1/8 of an inch wide. It's metallic, and it is so nice to work with and make bows with. And so I'm just going to make a bow here. I'll make these a little bit bigger. And what I like to do is fold the bow, the loopy part of the bow down like this. Let me trim this off here. I keep talking about my new paper snips. They're still doing really well. They are so sharp. Nothing like a good brand new pair of paper snips, right? Okay, so now I'm going to take this and just find a glue dot here. There's one. And I'm actually going to put a glue dot on the bottom of this, and then I'm going to fold this over. and get a glue dot on both sides, and that'll help it stick not only to the back of my word panel, but also to my card front. Okay, so first I'm going to just put that right there like that. It's also sticking to my finger, which is not what I had planned. Okay, and then this is just going to be positioned right here, whoops, like this. And so I'm going to cover up that little space there. I just thought that looked better with that covered up. And I'm going to just add my adhesive, my glue. Is there a reason that I used blue for the sentiment rather than one of the purples? Well, actually, no, and I could have certainly used the purple. I didn't really have a particular reason, Cindy, but I was pulling more from this color, this flower, which actually is, to me, looks more like a navy blue. But I could have used the Gorgeous Grape. That would have been equally as pretty. But I just love this touch of green here at the side, right under my words. And then I want to show you something about this ribbon. I'm going to trim it a little bit shorter. It's really easy to pull these ends apart a little bit if you like that frayed look. And I thought that looked kind of pretty on this card. So I'm going to just pull this apart a little bit. It just sort of softens those ends. And then, of course, I have to add some bling. So what I chose was, sorry, I've got a back of a dimensional stuck here. Oh, there we go. I wanted to use something new, so I chose the Glossy Dots assortment, and you can see they're really, really pretty colors, and I chose the purple. Let me get this open. And I'll just take my Take Your Pick tool and pick a few of these up. And these are nice. They come in 3 different sizes. And so for my card today, I used the small and the medium size, and I just sprinkled those around a little bit right on the flowers. Put one down here. Sometimes it's hard when you're using these embellishments to stop because they're just so pretty. But I think I'm going to stop it right there like that. And so there is my card for today. This is featuring the Hues of Happiness Suite, brand new, available for purchase starting tomorrow. You can go to my blog, lauramilligan.com. I always have a link to shop. You just click on that. It will take you directly to my store, so you know you're shopping directly with me, which of course I really appreciate. And let me switch my view back up. Okay, so thank you for joining me. I'm going to hold my card up again so you can see it just from a different angle. Isn't it pretty? I just love, love, love these colors. So thank you for joining me. So tomorrow's the big day, the first day we can order from the new catalog. So tomorrow I'll be able to open up our catalog and show you a few things. The other thing I wanted to mention quickly was our paper pumpkin. Well, first of all, we have an amazing sign-up special. If you've ever thought about joining the Stampin' Up! Family, we have an amazing special that starts tomorrow, and it involves our new in colors. So you get your starter kit for $99. You get to select $125 in product, pay only $99. You get free shipping on that kit, and then you also get a whole assortment of brand new in color products. So I've already had several people emailing me and asking me about that. So if you've ever thought about joining the Stampin' Up! Family, tomorrow or this next month may be a really good time to do that. It's a great, great deal. I would love to talk to you about that. I would love to have you join my team. I have an amazing team with super talented and super nice ladies, and we would welcome you to our team. And the other thing I wanted to mention, our paper pumpkin for this month features the new in colors. And a little special perk that they're doing this month is some of the kits will hold a voucher for $25 in free products. So I'm not sure how many kits will hold that, but it's a surprise. So if you get a paper pumpkin kit and you have that gold voucher in there, it's kind of like Willy Wonka and the gold ticket, right? It's sort of like, it's kind of like that idea, but if you get that in your paper pumpkin kit, you get a $25 credit to shop for Stampin' Up! Products. So that's always really exciting. So anyway, thank you for joining me today. I will be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and I will be sharing another really cute bundle, and I look forward to seeing you then. I will see you tomorrow, and thank you so much for joining me. And as always, I hope you have time to be creative today. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.